Hello, party people. I am sorry I am mildly not quite late. I usually aim to start at 1:30. It's currently 1:28 and 43 seconds. Close enough, but occasionally I like to start when I say I'm going to. I'd also like to shout out my 65 followers on my Rumble. So we'll bring up the browser there now. Yeah, look at that. 65 whole followers. Who would have thought this bald-headed nerd from Newfoundland would get that many? I mean, if I add them all up across platforms, I have over 2,000, so... Again, still a shock. Always humbling to see that. Speaking of... oh, what do we got here? Yes, speaking of humbling things, let's jump right into Sic Semper Mentalis. And as always, that does translate to, thus always, to dickheads. And today's first dickhead is this reporter.
Now, Mr. Bloom, what do you make of the front cover of this, the conference brochure with no black faces on it?
After you interviewed.
What a racist comment is that? How dare you? That's an appalling thing to say. You're picking people out for the colour of their skin. You disgust me. Get out of my way.
Well, but I mean, I'm making the point that you haven't...
Listen to him stutter.
What's appalling about making that point?
You, sir, are a racist.
Why am I a racist for saying there aren't any black people?
And you've checked out the colour of people's faces? Disgraceful. You're disgraceful.
Well, what's...
Get him. Fucking give it to him. Oh, I love the British. I love the British so much. Even your politicians occasionally come out with amazing fucking shots. Also, I will say hello in chat to Sadie Sapientia, so it is very good to see you. If you would like to join Sadie Sapientia in supporting me on a monthly basis, you can do so in the Ko-Fi link. Sorry. I'm a little scattered at the moment. We will, of course, pause this particular piece of Sic Semper Mentalis while I finish my e-begging. If you would like to support me, as Sades does, you can go over to the Ko-Fi link in the description and the pinned comment, or you can just type my name into Ko-Fi, for that matter, and find me that way. If you support me on a monthly basis, I will throw your name in the ticker, along with Sades, Simon JJ, and Zenrab7. I do have one anonymous monthly supporter, therefore the Orangutan Gang is also in the ticker. Any likes, shares, follows, or subscribes, depends on platform. Don't spend your money on me on Rumble if you don't want to. I'd rather you did it on Ko-Fi. It's your money, though. Do with it as you will. Chats, likes, shares, comments, follows, subscribes, references on Trustpilot. I don't care. If you're actually helping and supporting me, I'll throw you in the Orangutan Gang as well. Okay, let's move on. Sorry. A screaming illegal invader, this one from Liz Churchill, is dragged out by ICE as President Trump's mass deportations are live, promises kept. Biden opened the floodgates to rapists, killers, and welfare leeches. Now they cry as America First boots their asses. Deport them all. I'm not sure this one has the IQ necessary to be working in the U.S. anyway.
If y'all have the balls to capture someone with a mask, take it off!
I have some suspicions about this. I'll share them after. I do love that they're all carrying paintball pepperball guns. And if you can hear the horns in the background, that'll be people signaling to their commie friends that ICE is active. Oh, Evil Author is in, says, hello, Sadies. Hi, Evil. I forgot to check if my chatbot was working today. Thanks, Evil. Okay, so I'll stop it there. We already have the general gist. And what humor content was extant has been exhausted. I have a suspicion based on the expression and behavior of the fellow on the ground that he may be on the autistic spectrum or some other form of mental, well, I'll use a medical term, mentally retarded, or mentally handicapped, or developmentally delayed. Take your pick. So I'm not 100% certain that this guy will turn out to not be a citizen. There is a potential here that he was used as bait and potentially may have been encouraged to disrupt the ICE activities in some fashion. I don't know, but I would not put it past the leftists to use a handicapped person as, well, a pawn. I mean, we've all seen Greta Thunberg. Evil says, look, just stop coming. Hang on, let me check my chat. Evil says, look, just stop coming into a country you're not wanted in. Well, stop breaking into my house. That's basically the way I phrase it to people, for the most part. So, from Steve Perkins, we'll see about whether or not I give him a follow after this. Sades says, how are you, Evil? I do love it when my chat talks to each other. Pakistani-born Brescia-based Imam Ali Kashif went on Italian TV and defended Muslims' rights to marry 9-year-old girls. That's a bad choice, sir. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, the Iron Lady of Italy, did not come out to give a long talk. She simply gave orders to men on the ground. Imam Kashif woke up this morning to find himself in Pakistan. That's the way to do it. Yeah, don't make speeches. Don't let them know you're coming. Just, point at a cop and point at him. Go get him. Yeah. Also, listen for the click, dickhead. Baroness Foster, DBE, says, yes, but we don't have a prime minister in Keir Starmer with a spine, and therein lies the problem. Yes. If true, brilliant. Yeah, apparently it is true. Greg Abbott, Texas, it's not complicated to port them all. Yeah. Texas also has a Hindu problem. Tyler Oliveira's most recent video would show that. It's still on my watch later list. It takes me forever to get through my watch later list sometimes. Tina Romano Freda says, the Pakistani pedophile is lucky that is all Italy's PM Giorgia Meloni did by only deporting him. Italy advances law allowing chemical castration for rapists and pedophiles. Yeah, I'm not in favor of chemical castration. I'm not in favor of castration as a punishment for these people. I am in favor of, how do the Americans put it, a short drop and a sudden stop. I'm so glad Italy has her. She's wonderful. Well, gods. Freedom is breaking out around the world. Yeah, heaven forbid we should actually, yeah. I don't see the attraction. I will never see the attraction. No Muslims in civilized areas. Nice, I like that one. Okay, moving on. Our next one is, it's a fight breakdown. Also, I will point out, this is one of the rare examples where women are now going to be told, don't be dickheads. We'll pause this here. Oops, yep, there we go. You definitely don't want, I don't want to spoil this for you. This is from Knights Templar International. I'll throw them a follow. When white girls have had enough. Oof. Very nice. That kick was so quick initially that I had to actually pause it to see if she had actually kicked her. And then, of course, this person posting it, or whoever did the video, was nice enough to provide the slow-mo shot where Shaniqua catches one. Right there. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good round kick. However, I will point out, ladies, your bones are more fragile than males. Maybe don't, well, if you're going to knock a bitch out, but be careful not to damage yourselves. For myself, when I was a bouncer, I had a very inebriated woman punch me in the face. I barely registered any pain from it, and she broke her hand. Yeah. So, bear that in mind. Also, ladies, remember to pick your opponents carefully if you're going to fight. So, grown men posting children fighting as the face of the white movement is just hilarious. Well, fuck you, Frank. I tell new parents all the time, start your child in reputable martial arts and weapons training programs as young as possible. Absolutely true. You want their response to become a reflex, not a reaction. I will make a point about that in just a second. A reaction is a voluntary response, something you have to think about, while a reflex is an involuntary response. True. However, you must also teach them restraint. They need to be aware of what's going on around them. Sure, you could have one person come up and punch you, and the reflex would be to punch them back and start giving it to them, but you don't know if they've got 5 buddies behind them. You need to have that situational awareness to go with the reflex. So it's something you have to balance. Oh, let's see. Chat is moving along. Let's see here. Say days. Oh, I'm going to have to pop my chat window out after all. Oh, hang on. Going to have to do some friggery. Please do like the video, by the way. Okay. As usual, I'm having trouble with my chat window. So that will come over here and probably absolutely disrupt my OBS setup. No, for once it doesn't seem to have. Okay, we'll move that over there a little ways. Oops. Accidentally. Oh, stop that. Bloody hell. There. Okay. I think I have it fixed now. Okay. Let's see. Furiously Rushed. Just upcoming. Sadie's asked how 1776 was. Evil Author says, check Telegram, the Butlerian Jihad has begun. I will have a look. The Texas governor just basically told the Indians, it's your state, have it. I have that coming up. Chin music. Yes, sweet, sweet chin music. Okay. Let's see. Nicely done. Yeah, but realize here that if the black girl had been a competent fighter, as opposed to just a street fighter who with negligible training at best, she never would have dipped her head down towards someone who had been kicking at her. Absolutely yes. Shot. Boom, headshot. If Chuck Norris approves, we're all good. Okay. Okay, the last one for Sic Semper Mentalist today is from Thomas Sowell Quotes, and he makes a very, very good point. That women are too comfortable hitting people without consequences. Don't touch me, that's not yours. Yeah, absolutely deserved. And you're going back at him. He's being gentle. Well, I think he stopped. No, I guess I'm going to get some sort of copyright thing over the music. Why is he hitting you? Bitch, because you were up in his face and you smacked him first. Dumbass. Jesus, some people are so stupid. Let's see. From Sean Connery. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong about hitting a woman. Although I don't recommend doing it the same way that you hit a man. An open-handed slap is justified if all other alternatives fail. If all other alternatives fail, and there's been plenty of warning. Yeah, you know. But to be fair, the same principle applies with men. If a man, well, let's rephrase that a little bit, because conditions are different. If a man were up in my face the same way that this woman is, I would have done the same thing. Now, this is before any physical contact had been made. I would have done this. Back off. With a man, the immediate response to that is one of two things. Okay, I need to fucking stop and get a hold of myself, or I'm swinging. That's the general responses from men, or you'll get a lot of this, because they're cowardly and they just want to make themselves feel big. The next step from that, if physical contact is initiated by a man in that situation, personally, I like a good open palm slap, but then again, I have a fairly sizable palm. But if it were a woman, I'd give her a pat. It would be next to nothing that I would give her. And the first time. Now, if she actually came at me and attempted to physically attack me, being me, with the training I've got and the experience I have, I would more likely put her in a bear hug or some sort of joint lock, something of that nature, so that she wasn't capable of attempting to continuing to attempt to harm me. With a man, I'll go for a joint lock, but if I can't get it, you're catching elbows. Yeah. Let's see. Boomer tech moment. Yes, I do have those. Oddly enough, I'm Gen X, not quite boomer. Yeah. Dinner time, says Sadie's. Have a good show. Have a good dinner. Have a good meal. Say hi to Fist for me. Let's see. What else we got there for chats? Nothing. Okay, I'm all caught up there. Slightly boomer that to the side there. So I can blow my OBS window up a little bit. Okay. No other men were present to unleash Hades the second he actually touched a woman. Let's see the responses to that, shall we? She deserved it. Keep your hands to yourself. So women get a complete pass and get to assault men. Now, if a woman gets physical first, she deserves what comes her way. Excuse me. I'm a woman, and all this never touch a woman is complete BS. Yes. Cardinal Fang. I would have unleashed Hades to any ballless white knight standing there watching her assault him, then spring into action when she gets consequences. You sound like... Okay, so you'd hit somebody for getting him... No. You're an asshole, too. The entire name of this segment is Thus Always to Dickheads. Don't be a dickhead. This is a dickhead move. If you're saying you would have jumped on any guy who watched her assault him and then got involved, no, you're a dickhead. Knock that shit off. White knights are thankfully on the extinction list. True. Shut up, little whore. Why'd you call her a whore? You don't know that she's a whore. You don't know that she's not, to be fair. This is because of feminism. No. It's not just because of feminism. It's because women don't get the accountability that other people get. Quintessential says, man, I was hoping for the grand finale. He smacked her hard, but not hard enough. She needed a life-changing KO. Knocking someone out doesn't change their life. And potentially, it could kill them. No. You always want to have as much restraint as is appropriate to the situation. Now, granted, if she pulled a knife, or, even potentially a gun, different story. Let's see. Caroline, funny how we only notice aggressive behavior when it suits a narrative. Why do we ignore the socialization behind violence regardless of gender? Let's challenge the roots, not just the branches. Sweetheart, human nature is a violent bastard. Nature, red in tooth and claw. Ever heard it? No? Didn't figure. This is why a woman needs a good smack from their father or husband when they get too lippy. Not necessarily. Equality of self-defense is the only solution. True. My father taught me I have the right to defend myself against a woman assaulting me. Then he added that women hurt just as much as men when you kick them between the legs. Yeah, because it's all about the pelvis. It's not to do with the testicles at all, really. What can I say? He was a Marine. Yeah. God bless the Marines, indeed. He has the right to defend himself. Some women think they have a force field around them. They are wrong. More of this culture, and America can finally dissolve into 50 new countries. Well, good luck with that. Women hit you because they think they are men. No, women hit you because they think you won't hit them back. Yeah. It takes a real nut like this to make me side with the black guy. Well, he didn't hit hard enough. Make an example out of her. No, see, anytime I hear the expression make an example, it should be for the most egregious things. For example, we were talking earlier about the imam who was shipped out of Italy. If you wanted to make an example of someone, he's a good choice. Hang him from somewhere on your border. That would be a good example. That would be a good choice to make an example of. Okay, let's see. What is this one? Okay, let's move on to one of my favorite new segments. Base Japan! Okay, and today in Base Japan, we start with this. From 26ers BP 115 to everyone overseas, I often hear that people can't distinguish between Chinese and Japanese. I can. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. It's not difficult to tell the difference. Korean and Japanese can be difficult. Korean and Chinese can be difficult, depending on the individuals involved, but generally, Japanese and Chinese are not difficult to tell the difference between. I could do something very racist now, but I will avoid that. It involves, doing this. but I won't do that. I did hear a comedian once point out that there are very clear differences in language between Chinese and Japanese. In Chinese, you have to sound like a hamster on meth. In Japanese, you have to sound like you're trying to lift your house while constipated. Indeed, it might be difficult for you all to tell them apart by appearance. Not really. So let me teach you a simple way to differentiate. Civility. Japanese people don't talk loudly in public places or cut in line. So they're the English of the Far East. Beautiful. I do love somebody who respects a cue. They are disciplined, quiet, and dislike causing trouble for others. Basically Westerners. In other words, Chinese people do the exact opposite of what Japanese people do. Please keep that in mind. Okay, and there's a short video to illustrate the difference. So this is apparently getting on a bus in China. Wow. And then this is school kids waiting for the bus in Japan. That's a bit of a difference, yeah. Evil Author says, Japanese finding the Western spirit is amazing and I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it all day, every day. Yeah. From Midlife Virus, aloha. Chinese equals rude, Japanese equals polite. I was in Tokyo last year and the Chinese tourists were smoking and spitting everywhere. They spit in the elevator. Yeah. There's a reason that Singapore will cane you if you spit on the street. It's because the Chinese, I think it has to do with luck that they will spit. But from what I understand, significant portions of urban parts of China are covered in human saliva. Nasty. When they come here to Hawaii, they are very rude as well. It's not very honorable. Mahalo for being polite. Here's a pic of our favorite beach, Makua, on the island of Oahu. That's just gorgeous. Yep. Okay, we'll go on. Let's see. Aloha. Lived in Hawaii for 3 years, says 26ers. I don't see them criticizing Japanese online. Unlike you, you are rude. Those guys just keep criticizing Japan, don't they? I think there's a translation issue there. Once you see them acting crazy and disrespectful, then it's a giveaway they're Chinese. I love my base Japanese people, man. Just no filter at all. No, I don't care if this hurts somebody. Yeah, no, just straightforward. If it's offensive, it's offensive. Get bent. Yeah. Let's see. Of course, the libtards have infested Japan. We'll pause this as soon as it comes up. Here we are. From Haruka Awake, an American communist, well, stretching the American part, goes to China and whines that Japan has not apologized. They must say sorry to China. This is a lie. Listening to his voice and looking at his face, I'm not too surprised he became a communist. Well, it's in his people's nature. China equals bugmen, Japanese equals cultured. Yeah, they're basically just, they're white adjacent and barely deserving of the adjacent part. This is, I watched this yesterday. This is,
The fact is Japan has not said sorry for this terrible action, and it is my hope one day they do so. I have been very disturbed with what I have seen in the news.
So, this is, well, the physiognomy is clear. This fellow is of the impression that it's a good idea to attempt to instill Japanese guilt in the same way that white guilt has been instilled in Westerners. Because we managed to be superior for so long, we somehow now need to make up for that by catering to the inferiors. And I'm expressing his mindset, not mine. Yeah.
News with Prime Minister Takaichi and her behavior.
Oh no, they're being mean to the Muslims? Is that what you're talking about?
And I hope that she can come around and understand how complex of an issue this is.
It's not very complicated at all, my friend. You simply need to fuck off.
And to move forward, Japan must make amends and apologize.
Oh, so now Japan must compensate. Fuck off. Kami detected, opinion automatically rejected. Absolutely.
or do something.
Yes, and reject him because he's a communist, not because he's Jewish. Yeah, we don't care that you're Jewish, though, you know, I'm not saying it's always them or it's always them, it's them all the time, but an awful lot of the time it is them.
Show that it understands the damage it has done.
I really hope there's a response to this in this video.
You simply need to understand that this happened.
Oh, so now you're Jew-splaining to the Japanese about how they did bad things to other people. It's almost like the mid-20th century origin myth is not really working for you as well in the West as it used to. It's almost like the guilt wears off, so you need to go and instill it somewhere else so that you can continue your agenda. Yeah, fuck off.
This is not
Bullshit.
propaganda.
It's bullshit. It's not propaganda. I do agree.
You've been brainwashed if you think that this didn't happen, and you should do the honorable and decent thing.
How dare you? How fucking dare you bring up the concept of honor to a people who have made it one of their biggest ethos? You scumbag. Your people have no concept of honor. You will get another country to do your dirty work for you, and then when it looks like the problem may not be as easily resolved as you thought, your people will then say, well, you deal with it on your own. You know, kind of like how Israel refuses to send ground troops to Iran. Now that they've caused the problem, yeah. Sorry, I should rephrase myself. By your people, I mean the Israeli government.
And apologize and make amends. The fact is, Japan has not said...
Okay. Has Japan issued formal apologies for Dub Dub 2? There is a list of war apology statements issued by Japan on Wiki-fucking-pedia. Wikipedia, list of war apology statements issued by Japan. This is a list of war apology statements issued by Japan regarding war crimes committed by the Imperial Japanese during World War II. Let's see. Apology rebuffed. Don't care. I just want the list. Okay. In the 1950s, the Prime Minister said to the people of Burma, "We view with deep regret the vexation we caused to the people of Burma." In 1957, Prime Minister Nobusuke said to the people of Australia, "It is my official duty and my personal desire to express to you and through you to the people of Australia, excuse me, our heartfelt sorrow for what occurred in the war." In the 60s, 1965, Minister of Foreign Affairs Shina Etsusaburo, I'm sorry, I'm rolling the R and I don't know if I should be, said to South Korea, "In our two countries' long history, there have been unfortunate times. It is truly regrettable and we are deeply remorseful." He's not just talking about the Second World War there. Japan colonized South Korea at one point, or colonized Korea at one point. September 29th, 1972, August 24th, 1982, August 26th, 1982, September 6th, 1984, September 7th, 1984, October 23rd, 1985, 1989, 1990, 1990, 1990, 1992, 1992, 1992, hang on. No, okay, sorry, I thought this might have been the dinner with George Bush throwing up on somebody. 92, 92, 93, 93, 93, 93, 94, 95, 95, 95, 96, 96, 96, 98, 98, 98, 2000, 2000, 2001, 2001, 2001, 2001, 2002, 3, 5, 5, 7, 9, 2010, 10, 10, 10, 11, 11, 13, 14, 15, 15, 15, 2020, 2024. Unfucking real. But Japan has never apologized. Get fucked, you asshole. From July 11th, 2024, this is the last entry, so I'll read this one fairly quickly. Following the second Japan-Philippines Foreign and Defense Ministerial Meeting, 2+2, Japan Ministry of Foreign Affairs Deputy Press Secretary Kaneko Mariko said Japan, for the record, Mariko would be, I'm going to guess her first name? Her family name would be Kaneko. The Japanese do family first, personal name second, which is cool. In my case, I would be party ardent. Sounds terrible. But said Japan settled all its obligations in the 51 Treaty of San Francisco and apologized with remorse. However, again, it announced to take many measures to recover the honor of Filipino comfort women. Yeah, this is over and over and over Japan has apologized. Which, go figure, is what an honorable people would do. Not like this dickhead. You know, somebody who would have the nerve to go to Japan and say, you've never apologized for these terrible things you did. When it took me, 10 seconds to, yeah, the banker fears the samurai is absolutely right, evil author. More often than not, it is them. It's them too often to not notice. But, yeah, imagine not Evan Kale, a fucking pawn shop owner. Could you be more stereotypically fucking Jewish? Jesus Christ, man. And clearly did no, not even a modicum of research before he went. I literally just did a quick snap search. Right? This guy clearly doesn't own a phone, or newspapers, or the internet, or word of mouth, because you could actually talk to people and they'd probably be able to tell you, yeah, I'm sure Japan has apologized. Yeah. That's going to be the last one. We'll go with this one next. And the infiltration is coming from multiple vectors, the same as it is in the West. In Japan, they, in this case being fucking Muslims, tatami rooms while Japanese watch in dismay. Japan has roughly 500,000 Muslims and it's growing fast. Japan is being invaded. Infiltrated, in some cases, would probably be a better term. They're not necessarily being shipped in, but they'll breed you out if they can. This is from Shigeyuke 696. And I do apologize for my terrible Japanese pronunciation. I am just a baka gaijin. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. What as the credits roll at the end of English language broadcasts of NHK, and one can notice something about the non-Japanese names in the credits that may explain this phenomenon. Is it them? I'm willing to bet it's them. No, the problem is not that he doesn't own these things. The issue is he does. True. From Hana87 Day. Japanese fields are spread with a pig-derived fertilizer called tanpun. The food culture of tonkotsu ramen, and pork is also deeply rooted. Islam, which considers pigs unclean, should simply learn about this unclean land before entering Japan and choose not to enter. Yeah, the entire country's covered in pig shit, guys. This is almost as funny as the pork water thing yesterday with the rice. Okay. Since we are in Japan, and Japan does have a beautiful culture, I'm going to I'll leave this segment with this. From Haruka Awake Again, this is a beautiful 25-string koto performance under blooming cherry blossoms. Thank you, everyone, for the positive vibes about Japan lately. We appreciate it. And I'll just play that, because I have to do something on the other screen. Okay, I'll have to stop it there. I don't want to keep it running too long just in case there's a copyright issue. But yeah, I've always found the koto a beautiful instrument to listen to. Let's see. Evil author. Look, I have told people in the past everyone should own dogs and pigs and eat pork and everything, and these people might fuck off. Not just those people, but the other guy. Yeah, his people don't like pork either. Yeah, this one doesn't... Oh, no, okay, we're into the comments section now. My apologies. We'll dump base Japan and come to the comments section. The clown show. Yeah. Okay, so from Rhoda, who calls herself simply Rhoda1, we get this gem of a fucking piece of genius. And we're definitely going to roll through the comment section on this. Parents, please stop sending your kids to school with the mindset of, if someone hits you, hit them back. You are part of the problem. Really? We're part of the problem. Interesting. Why would you say something like that? Oh, that might be it. Yeah, the responses are great. Edward of the Deplorable says, her kid tried to victimize a white kid and got his ass handed to him. That's why she's complaining. Quite possibly. Nope, my kid defends herself. Good. It's called Newton's Law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Don't hit my kid and he won't hit back. Otherwise, learn the below equation. End. The amount of finding out is roughly proportional to the amount of fucking around. How about you shut the fuck up and leave your retarded opinions in the third world where it belongs? Yeah. No, people like you are the problem. Kids need to learn how to defend themselves. They need to know that they are not to start anything. However, when the little shit at school, whom they never hold accountable, starts something, my kid will finish it. Yes, and do not run to the teacher because you're being bullied. Kick the shit out of your bully. That's how you stop the problem. Going to the teacher just tells the teacher, I need special treatment. It makes the teacher think you're trying for special treatment. A kid is trying for special treatment. What you do in that situation is, because you can't appeal to authority, because the teacher doesn't want to do the extra paperwork, he'll try to make it go away, or they will try to make it go away. Just fucking punch the kid. Do your suspension. It'll happen. Right? Don't go overboard, but yeah. From the Outlaw Josie Wells. Great movie, by the way. Actually, I teach them to hit them back so hard that their grandkids will feel it. You should teach your kids about the consequences of their actions. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and make bad decisions. Or just send your kids with the mindset to keep their goddamn hands to themselves. That's a thought, yeah. The correct mindset is, if someone hits you, hit them back so hard no one is ever stupid enough to hit you again. Absolutely pummel them to ashes. No. Not for children. Excuse me. Defend yourself so intensely that people fear you might become aggressive even if you are never the aggressor. No. It is far better to be peaceful. Not harmless. Peaceful. No, they are having their kids learning to stand against tyranny because stupid cannot be fixed. If you are the type of person to equate schoolyard bullying with tyranny, I would like to hand you a giant cup of shut the fuck up. Teaching kids to hit back creates more violence, not less. Teach control, not reaction. Do you not know how discipline works and correction? I mean, the Bible does say, spare the rod, spoil the child. You think that only applies to parents? She's had 6 username changes since, until April last year. Actually, your retarded little shit is the problem because you can't raise a fucking kid properly. Other kids have to deal with your retard. Anyways, this is a third world slop account. Move along. There is a response here. Let's see what we got. Did she actually respond to any of these people? Damn it. I do love Curtis. Good job. Okay. Let's see if she responded to any of these comments. I kind of doubt she did. How about this one? Nope. Okay, we'll try one more. How about this one? Nope. It's probably somebody who's got me blocked. Let's try one that has a bunch of responses. 384. Oh, this is the dumbass who said teaching them to hit back creates more violence. If bullies face no consequences, they only get more bold. You can't trust lefty school administrators to manage bullies. Kids have to defend themselves. Yes. Yeah, sounds like a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Hey, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. I found retard. No, if my kid gets swung at first, I hope I taught him well enough to follow up with the 2/10. I suppose. Let's see. Fiat Lux. No, striking back stops the initial violence and encourages less violence. When your bully knows you are prepared to respond in kind, they cower and learn. Not necessarily, but they will realize that messing with you, or your child in this case, has consequences. I'll tell my son to punch the daylight out of you and your kid if he is hit first. No. Don't tell your child... Now, this is obvious hyperbole, but don't tell your child to go after somebody else's parent. That's just fucking retarded. Speaking of fucking retarded, let's talk about Gavin Newsom's wife. And how much she hates her kid. Sorry, not wife. Partner. From Wall Street Mav. Gavin Newsom's partner is worried that young men are becoming more conservative. It's not exactly what she says. So they're working on legislation in California to stop boys from learning about masculinity. That's not exactly true either. And of course she uses the worst possible example of masculinity.
Boys.
Sorry. Evil Author says, be peaceful but capable of unfathomable violence. Yes. Walk into the room with a smile on your face and a plan to kill everyone in the room if you need to.
We all know, I think, or increasingly are realizing that boys are moving away from sort of the more progressive. Boys that spend time online are moving a little bit. I'm trying not to be political here.
She's trying not to be political. She's married to a fucking governor. And she thinks she can be apolitical by saying what she's about to say about boys.
But are moving to the right.
Immediately. Yeah, they're moving to the right. And this is a problem because...
and being sort of influenced by the Andrew Tate.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. For the record, anyone who thinks Andrew Tate is a role model of masculinity is a damn fool. No real man does the shit that Andrew Tate does. It's insanely performative when it's not criminal. The whole taking pictures in a giant house with his shirt off on a leather couch and his unclothed feet on a table. It generally screams, hey, I rented this place so I could make this photo. Yeah. Or standing in someone else's, what's probably someone else's driveway with somebody else's Bugatti. Yeah. Mm-mm.
And some of that sort of alt-right socialism.
And that's leaving aside all the criminal shit that Tate has been accused of. And the fact that he's a fucking Muslim. Well, he's probably not, actually. Certainly not a good one.
Online that we know is very, very dangerous.
Sorry. Lost track of what she was saying.
And being sort of influenced by the Andrew Tates and some of that sort of alt-right socialization online.
Alt-right. Who the fuck says alt-right anymore?
And that we know is very, very dangerous.
Why is it dangerous? You know it's dangerous, but you can't express why it's dangerous.
My husband and I...
Now, why does she call herself partner if she calls him husband?
Were alarmed when our kids were watching sports online and my son knew about Andrew Tate.
Did you use it as a teachable moment to talk to your son about what Andrew Tate is and why you disagree with him? Or did you just tell him that Andrew Tate's a bad person and he shouldn't listen to him? Yeah. Evil Author. Yeah, I can imagine this would hit you personally. I am in California. We're tired of this crap. The Dems are so afraid of losing California that they have to redraw the district. Oh, they're gerrymandering again? Yeah, that happens here in Newfoundland a lot, too. The last election, the state went like 45% Republican. Wow. Yeah, outside of the cities, California is fucking red as hell. Wait. Red is Republican for you guys, right? Yeah, I think so. Or conservative. I think that's right. Yeah. It's flipped from the States to Canada.
And thought he was pretty cool and thought that his Republican grandfather, who...
Oh, geez, look, it hurts her to say the words, his Republican grandfather.
not a Trumper, but a fiscal
Of course he's not a Trumper. He's a fiscal conservative, right?
conservative, thought that my father would like Andrew Tate.
So your kid thinks his grandfather, which I assume is Newsom's father, Republican, thinks that your father would like Andrew Tate. So the grandfathers are talking. And that's a problem. Of course it is. Because the last thing bitches like this want, feminist cunts like this want, is for two men to get together and go, yeah, we should change things. It's not working for everybody. Yeah.
So that's scary.
Oh, it's scary when people want to talk to each other. When men want to talk to each other about being men or, you know, things that interest men.
We're like one of the most progressive households, and our
We're one of the most progressive. Fuck you, bitch.
son is confused and asking all these
Confused? What do you mean confused?
questions.
And he's asking questions. Well, he's not confused. He's curious. Go figure. It's one of the things guys have going for them. We happen to be curious about things.
We're working on legislation to hold tech companies accountable and help them be a force for good in our kids' and families' lives.
This bitch in government, and I'm sorry, she might not be elected, but she clearly has a lot of sway over her fucking American psycho husband. This bitch, progressive feminist, bad enough that she has the government doing the whole cradle to the grave bullshit that they do here in Canada. Now she wants the tech companies to be involved in the personal lives of the citizenry at that kind of level. I cannot say fuck off loud enough. Listen for the click.
To really provide all the best in class resources and support for youth so that they don't go down this rabbit hole of very, very dangerous and limiting narratives around ultimately what it means to be a girl and what it means to be a boy.
Okay, so this one is all over the place. She's talking about progressive politics without wanting to get political. She's talking about knowing this weird limiting narratives around what it means to be a boy or a girl. Sweetheart, nature has limited that narrative for you. We only come in two. We come boy or we come girl. Unless, you know, something funky happens, which is rare as hell. And the other possible funky thing is trauma or abuse. You know, like a parent who refuses to admit that biological reality can be, in fact, fucking objective.
Owe it to them and ourselves to kind of heal this this gift of modern technology, but curb it to be a force for good. I mean, look.
No, it's you want to curb it to be a force for your good. What you perceive to be good. They want soy boys. Transing kids is child abuse. The liberal strong. Oh. I prefer my men non-liberal. I've already got a pussy. I don't need another one. Fair. Let's see. Jews admit Angela Merkel flooded Germany with migrants because of her commitment to Jews. Interesting. I was born in 1872. This is... oh, gods. I know who this is. Bertrand Russell, I think. I was born in 1872. My parents died when I was still an infant, so I was brought up by my grandparents. Probably the best start he could have gotten. Excuse me. My apologies, Evil, but I am going to read this. California, #1 in homelessness, poverty, addiction, gas prices, income tax, gas tax, budget deficit, retail theft, citizen exodus, COVID mandates, COVID school closures, COVID business closures, illegal immigration, funding illegal immigration, illiteracy, wage stagnation, frivolous lawsuits, worker restrictions, and anti-business regulations. Fuck me, I would not want to live in California, and I live in Canada. Come, brothers, these degenerates aren't going to crucify themselves. Fair. Translation. We don't want males to step up and become real men. We want them to live in la-la land and chop things off of themselves for oppression points. Yeah, true. And no regret, Vet just restated what I just read. Liberalism turns boys into whiny, emasculated men. Conservatism turns boys into strong, real men. True. Generally. Dear God. Where did you get... Oh, yeah, Trudeau. That's where you got the socks. Now we all know why Gavin sits like this. She castrated him years ago. Yeah, his balls are probably in her purse. King of the homeless, destroyer of the Palisades, and delivers from liberal white women. Yeah. What are you talking about, Jen? That legislation already exists. California's been piling on social media restrictions, addiction protections, and hold big tech accountable bills for years. SB 976, age-appropriate design laws, health warnings, the whole nanny state toolkit. Don't you and Gavin ever talk? Or does the echo chamber at home drown out the fact that your best-in-class resources are already failing to keep your own kid from thinking Andrew Tate is pretty cool? Yeah. Part of that might be rebelliousness as well, though. My mom doesn't like Andrew Tate. My dad doesn't like Andrew Tate. Maybe I should like Andrew Tate just to be different. Kids always want to distinguish themselves from their parents. Evil author. I know it is bad, but my family have been here for 5 generations, so I say come and take my land. Yeah, fair. Be invested. It's absolutely good to be invested. Progressive males rule the casting couch. Yeah. Foot fetish and Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. Remember, only you can prevent your state from becoming California. Yep. What's this? Not gonna work, lady. Unlike your husband, normal boys want to become men. Real men. Call me. No, Greg, you don't want her to call you. Hey, sacar tuta. Gabby and Jenny, 2 peas in a pod. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, let's burn through these a little quicker here. I'm getting bogged down in the comments. Okay, from Fairy Megan. Limpopo beneficiaries eat 30 cows awarded to them to start farming project. Okay, if you haven't heard about this story, these are people that were... That doesn't really look like Africa to me. But where is Limpopo? South Africa. Okay, maybe, yeah, I guess pine trees or something. Probably planted by the immigrants. By the Boers. Boers. Limpopo beneficiaries eat 30 cows awarded to them to start a farming project. So they were given cows. Now, if you haven't heard about this story, what happened is a bunch of people in the West got together out of charitableness and gave a bunch of cows to this group of people, which they immediately slaughtered and ate, rather than delay the gratification so that there would be, a consistent, sustainable source of food. Yeah. Agriculture and animal husbandry is beyond the cognitive ability of the primitive hunter-gatherers. They're pre-Paleolithic. Yeah, that's before the Stone Age, for those who don't know. Easy come. They was hungry. Pooza Thursday. Yeah. I remember watching footage of the event that they threw, the big feast, and they're... Damn autocorrect. One of their people had the response that, well, we can eat this now and then the whites will just give us more food later. They even think the whites are saviors. Yeah. Okay, so this is the end of the comments section. From Noah, true on X. Pay attention, and so it begins. This Irishman just dropped truth that's hitting like a freight train. They have the money. Sorry, I'm trying to avoid falling into the Newfoundlander accent while I try to replicate an Irishman's words. They have the money to bring in thousands of strangers, roll out the red carpet for them, but they have nothing for the Irish people. We can't get houses, we can't get hospital beds, we can't get school places for our children, and the schools are now not even teaching your own native language. They're no longer teaching Irish, Gaelic, whatever you want to call the language. They're teaching Arabic, of all fucking things. But they all have the money in the world for them. They have all the money in the world for them. And now the fuel is €1.7 a liter. Jesus. And we can't even afford to put diesel in the tractor to feed the nation. Yeah, the fishing boats have had to tie up. All kinds of things are failing because of the price of fuel. The Irish have had enough. No more silent protests that get ignored. Yeah. Which one of the things I reported on recently was an Irish politician being absolutely harangued by his people. No more watching your country get sold out while your own people struggle. Dublin lockdown? Good. Let the whole country feel what real pressure looks like. The people rising is the only language these globalist traitors understand. Ireland is showing the world how it's done. Who's next? France, UK, US, Australia? Doesn't matter. It needs to spread. That's all that matters. Stand up or get replaced. No surrender. Share this if you're with the Irish fighting back. I absolutely am. Pause this here. Roll it back.
Yes, there's one thing you notice in the room. You know, it's tired, hard-working, worn-out people. Because we are dragging ourselves through the muck to make a living.
Okay, the video is pretty muffly.
There's people all around the country. This isn't an up-and-down job.
Yeah, I can understand what he's saying, but it's pretty muffled. So we'll move on. Just look at the comments here. Let's see. They say it wasn't an accident. The ticks didn't just spread. They were released, altered, carried into the wild with intent. Yeah, this is also from the same account. Lyme became more than a disease. It became a boundary. Forests, once open, turned uncertain. Hunting grounds turned hostile, and even the act of stepping outside carried a cost. According to those who have studied the pattern, it served a purpose. Limit movement, erode self-sufficiency. Yeah, why do you think, what was it, Oregon? Just introduced a bill to prevent you from being able to do any sort of food harvesting on your own property. Yeah. This is a deer crawling with ticks. This is fucking brutal, man. Jesus. Now, to me, this screams introduced intentionally, because this is an awful lot of ticks for an animal that should be from a population that has some form of resistance to them. Yeah. Speaking of things that you need to resist, let's talk about Texas and the Indians for a second. This is from Kevin Sorbo. Texas will be a land for Indians. That's Greg Abbott talking about Texas. I'm not joking. Oh, no wonder everything's muffled. It's all low.
As long as I'm governor of this great state, Texas will be a land for the Indian community, a land for
Treasonous bastard. I'm glad you're in a wheelchair. Kind of sounds like treason to me. Justin McDaniel says, there's no surprise here. Selfish, individualistic, anti-white politicians, and it's not even necessarily about them being anti-white. They're just trying to curry favor. No pun intended. They will betray whites who voted for them if they believe it'll benefit their political career. Without the leadership of white positive West... Oops. Yeah. Close that window. Without the leadership of white positive Westmen, the West ceases to be. NoWhiteGuilt.org. Absolutely true. God damn it, I hate how this jumps sometimes. Throw Justin a like here. Justin again. They want to white erase you and your people from your own civilization with endless non-white immigration. The same, only slower. Yeah, you could put the Canadian Liberal Party symbol here and the Canadian Conservative Party symbol here. Low IQ reaction. Oh, 1 second. Low IQ reaction to being given things. Hey, let's eat it. Yeah. I just checked into Gavin Newsom's woman. She had consensual relations with Harvey Weinstein. I am not fucking shocked. Was she trying to be an actress? Sir, please, we need your land, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, let me tell you how your country actually belongs to me and how you should behave in the country your ancestors built, because it's mine now. That's what's coming. Tyler Oliveira popped in about the H-1B ghost offices. Anyone else getting tired of being a law-abiding citizen for a country that doesn't enforce its laws? People that elect corrupt politicians are not victims, but accomplices. Let me share something with you. See if I can find the quote here. No. From Robert Heinlein. From the book The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. If you haven't read Heinlein, Beyond Starship Troopers, you should. So here is the quote. There is no worse tyranny than to force a man to pay for what he does not want merely because you think it would be good for him. Actually, that's not the one I was looking for. Here. I will accept any rules that you feel necessary to your freedom. I am free no matter what rules surround me. If I find them tolerable, I tolerate them. If I find them too obnoxious, I break them. I am free because I know that I alone am morally responsible for everything I do. Abraham George, chair of the Texas Republican Party. Greg Abbott sold his soul to the devil and Texas to the highest bidders. Yeah. I'm a minority. This isn't fair. Yeah. Greg Adams is up for re-election in the 2026 Texas gubernatorial election, with election day scheduled for November 3rd this year. Brandon Herrera has the opportunity to do something absolutely fucking hilarious. Yeah. Wow. Look at that, huh? This is Frisco, Texas. Yeah, this is from Tyler Oliveira's video. Going back to the Indians drama. Yeah. If betrayal was a person, there are so many politicians you should put in that image. Yeah. For the record, I also have a Texas flag hanging on my wall. Okay. No, I'll skip this one because there's more that goes with it. Let's talk about Canada losing its absolute fucking mind, shall we? More. From my friend Newsfist. Parliamentary Secretary for... Oh, wait, sorry. I apologize. This isn't Canada losing their mind. This is the UK. Continuing down the same rabbit hole. From my friend Newsfist, you can find him at Malinformed TV. Parliamentary Secretary for Men's Behavior Change is more Orwellian than Orwell. I want to share with you some pretty big news. Premier Jacinta Allen MP has asked me to serve as the Parliamentary Secretary for Men's Behavior Change, a national first. Men's behavior change. Robbie himself even says, "What new hell is this? A further assault on masculinity aimed at making us easier to govern." Yeah, they want all men to, well, yeah. I believe he was up for the new post of Parliamentary Secretary for Tie Straightening. I'd straighten his tie for him. Oh, convenient. We'll talk about this story about Rupert Lowe. Apparently Rupert Lowe is causing some problems for some people. Giving them the Pajeets. Pajeets is the, as far as the eye can see, sir. Fuck you, bloody! You bloody buddy. Yeah. From British Intel. Pure Evil, a National Rebirth Party representative, has just issued a sickening death threat against Rupert Lowe. He demands that Rupert's entire family line must be wiped out in the most brutal way imaginable. They even posted an image showing him hanging from a noose with his wife and children locked in cages below. This level of hatred is beyond disgusting. These people are showing exactly who they are. I will also point out, this is a GETTR. This is a Christian sign of the Trinity. That's fucking evil. From Joseph NRP London. He has done nothing but exploit our people through care homes, football, and the like to earn his money. No compromises. His entire line must be wiped in a brutal fashion to set an example. Justice served, the family imprisoned. Yeah. Traitor to the nation. Fuck you, Joe Boy. If there's one thing Rupert Lowe is not, it's a traitor to his people. And I pointed out, putting a Christian symbol behind him in the image is kind of an interesting choice as well. The left. Let's just pretend we're victims and the righteous defenders of victims so we can hurry up and get to being psychopathic murderers. Yeah. They don't call you evil because they hate you. Or, sorry, let me rephrase. They don't kill you because you're evil. They call you evil so that they can kill you and not feel bad about it. Another member of the NRP. I hope to meet Ian Watkins in heaven. Until then, strict deterrents are necessary to protect the innocent. We do not have to look back in anger, live in hope, not hate. Bless you all. Yeah, okay. Alex Bramham? Didn't he... I think he got into some interesting trouble. Oh, look at that. His account has been deleted. If he will it. The fact that the account was called If He Will It suggests a Christian undertone, which means he's done so much Christian AI stuff that now anytime he asks for something with AI, from AI, it throws a Christian symbol in for him. How very interesting. Account doesn't exist. Restore Britain. This scumbag concern seems to have had his account removed already, but that won't stop this depraved behavior. I genuinely don't understand people. Yeah. If you're in the UK and you're watching this, I would thoroughly suggest that you look into Restore Britain. If he doesn't get arrested and do a long stretch in jail for that post, which incites violence or murder towards Rupert, then we know just how seriously dire this country has become. Don't expect it. It is perfectly fine to hate white people. Has been for decades. Arthur of Albion says, they have tried and tried and tried again to break our discipline. They are so desperate, they're openly resorting to death threats. We don't care. England for the English. Godspeed, patriots. Amen, brother. Let's see. No, that one can go. I'll dump that one. Since we're talking about how much they hate white people. Let's talk about how much they hate white people. And yes, it's them again. I don't care that her last name is Welch. Look at her. From Taya, Traveling Flying. Jennifer Welch says that white people have no culture, should stop watching sports with black athletes. Sounds kind of racist. And should stop visiting Mexican restaurants. Also sounds kind of racist. White people should be banned. This is a quote from her. Get your fat butts out of the Mexican restaurant. Nobody wants to see you around. Thank you for identifying the fact that you don't think of yourself as white.
Quit watching NBA basketball. Quit watching sports that are dominated by African Americans. Quit going to Mexican restaurants. You want white culture? You go fucking live in it.
White people created basketball, football, both kinds, hockey. Yeah.
You live in it, baby.
There's no white culture. Opera, rock and roll, country music, poetry. Interior decorating. Oddly enough. Not really, but the English language, the Russian language, the French language, the Spanish language, the Italian language.
In it.
Yeah, we
like
have no
that's
culture.
the only thing that I see when you get all white people together in the United States. There's no culture at all. So they
Baseball. Hell, just American white culture. Baseball, NASCAR. Stand-up comedy. Well, that might be more of a Jewish thing, but it's definitely an American art form. Television. Filmmaking. Yeah. That filmmaking, for the record, was started by a French guy called Kodak.
have to go borrow culture
advanced
from
life,
people.
anyway.
Even the word woke, they've borrowed from black culture.
Okay, I thought James Lindsay was off his fucking head with this woke right thing. This bitch is claiming that the white people took the word woke, which is an English word, from the blacks. Remember that guy in Japan a little while ago? Those two should hook up. They're about the same fucking level of consciousness.
Sure. I went to a Mexican restaurant with my
Why would you go to a Mexican restaurant if white people aren't supposed to be there? Are you self-identifying as not white? Thank you.
parents, my son, my husband over the weekend. And there's just all these MAGA looking people in there.
MAGA looking. Take a quick look at her. You know what she looks like? Not MAGA. Demonic. I mean, nobody looks that evil without having something deeply wrong with them.
And I thought, you've got a lot of fucking nerve coming in here.
You're in a Mexican restaurant talking about how nobody who isn't Mexican should be in there? Fuck you, bitch. You're
Coming
off your
into this
head.
Mexican restaurant where every single waiter, obviously English was their second language.
What do you mean, obviously? So you spoke to every single waiter, did you? Well, bet you didn't.
Served with a smile. They run a great little local business.
Evil author. These people disgust me, and we have culture. Yeah, we haven't had culture yet. They destroyed a bunch of it, so many of us have hidden our culture so they don't destroy it anymore. You have to gatekeep everything. Comic books, science fiction, all of it. It all has to be gatekept. Because if you don't gatekeep it, the people who don't actually love it will come in and change it to their liking, and then it'll be destroyed because they didn't actually want it anyway. All they wanted to do was destroy something you loved.
And Oklahoma City is a better place because of these hard-working immigrants that come in here. But I cannot imagine.
And she's also assuming that every single Mexican that she encounters is an immigrant. Cute. The
horror they feel when they are driving to and from work, when they might have a hearing on their legal status.
She's not even assuming that they're landed immigrants. She's assuming that they're all just waiting for their fucking asylum/status hearing. Wow. Could you self-reveal any more, princess?
I can't imagine the people who've already been taken from their lives. And to see these...
Okay, the only people that are being taken from their lives are the ones who were in your country illegally. You know this. Don't be a stupid cunt. You can't help being a cunt, but you don't have to be a stupid cunt.
Fat ass, pink arm, teeny weeny.
Hang on. You can't get... Oh, wait.
Beta pricks with their
Yeah, because I'm sure your man is such an example of Sigma masculinity.
ugly ass wives.
You have the nerve to call somebody else ugly? Princess, that's like me telling somebody else they're not as sexy as a thumb as I am.
Walk into this Mexican restaurant and sit down and smile and be friendly. I don't think...
Oh no, heaven forbid you should smile and be friendly to people who are serving you food. I wonder how many tacos you've eaten that have human spit in them. Assuming you didn't get the secret sauce. Yeah. Yee, sakara tuta. Stop posting videos of this nasty witch, says Mr. Reagan. Hi, Chris. No one needs to see that butchered face ever again. No culture. Yeah. Right? Skunt. Because sometimes skank and cunt just isn't enough. We have stunned cunt in Newfoundland. Yeah. The entirety of Western... Yeah, painting. Yeah, Western civilization is white. Yeah. Well, not the entirety. I mean, you do have... You have to be fair. American blacks have contributed greatly to Western culture. Jazz, blues. I love the blues. Sports. I mean, there's a lot of great black sports figures. Not only that, but in terms of thinking, you have, as much as I hate to cite him, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a very good person when it comes to astronomy. He should shut the fuck up about anything else. No, I don't care. Pluto is a dwarf planet. I'm fine with that. Thomas Sowell is a great lecturer about economics and history. Let me think, who else? Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Uncle Clarence is absolutely top level, you know. There are black authors, black actors. Avery Brooks, since I was talking about science fiction and then I mentioned authors and then actors, this came to mind. The episode of DS9, there's actually two, if I recall correctly. There's two episodes of DS9. I think one is Far Beyond the Stars is what it's called, where Cisco, the character, is rendered comatose or in some sort of trance state and is transported sort of weird. It's a very weird story, but it's a very good story, into the body of a man who's writing a story about a black commander of a space station. It's kind of weirdly meta, but it's such a well-acted story and well-written. It's worth watching. Another one is In the Pale Moonlight is a great episode of DS9. And I mean, that show would not have been anywhere near as good if it wasn't for 4 black actors. Avery Brooks, Sirach Lofton, Aaron Eisenberg, I believe, was black, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And Michael Dorn, the guy who played Worf. Right? I mean, American blacks have absolutely contributed to Western culture. To the point that American black is such a different culture than African black that they don't really see themselves as the same people. How dare you pull me over? Do you know who my father is? No, I'm just like your mom and have no idea. Roasted. Permanently closed. Yeah, all restaurants without white people. Yeah. You know the brainwashing is real when white people protest about white people for being white. She's not white. Dude, if you can look at her and see a white woman, there's something very wrong with you. The physiognomy does not match. These people discuss me. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about, well, if we're going to talk about government fuckery, we might as well come to Canada. So, from Kayla Pollock, these were the last numbers released by Canada's Vaccine Injury Support Program before they sealed the records for 15 years. 3,018 admissible claims, 1,433 already assessed, only 252 approved, and then transparency ends. From this point forward, the public is no longer allowed to see what is happening. If everything is safe and effective, why hide the data? Canadians deserve to know the real numbers. Copy, repost, and demand accountability. Which I actually did. We'll pop this up, though, because I'm curious about this 551 number. Number of appeals received. So how many people got denied and actually appealed it. From Tamara Ugolini, that's a screen grab from my report. Highlighting was mine. Please don't forget to give credit where it's due. Kayla says, I just found it online yesterday when someone sent it to me on Facebook. I'm sorry, I had no idea. Global also stole your reporting, I believe. Not a shock. I was told by my own family doctor, off the record, that if she filed a claim of vaccine injury, that 99% would be rejected and sent back for further testing. And if pursued, the threats of investigations into her practice would begin. This conversation was in 2022. It's not disgraceful. It's fucking diabolical is what it is. They always were hiding information, like when the black-faced one bought far more than could ever be used and tried to force it on everyone, and all the while he had shares in the company that made an important component. Yeah, isn't it weird how politicians keep somehow getting richer as they're in office? Okay, let's go back to Britain. From Retard Finder, the English flag may be the primary symbol of racism in this country. This guy is retarded. Well, I mean, it's Piers Morgan and Nigel Farage. They're all retarded.
In this country, because of how it's been adopted and co-opted by the far right. In my mom's generation, it was
co-opted and adopted by the far... It's the fucking symbol of your goddamn country, you traitorous bastard. Yeah. Who can tell me what this is? That was the British flag before it became an Islamic republic. Yep, as they say in England, Allahu Akbar... I swear to my family, flag, and country, I will not submit to Islam. Yep. In the words of Conor McGregor, who the fuck is that guy? Meanwhile, I'm over here like, yeah, I know the feeling. It's called fuck off, and I believe it's located over there. Yes, you should fuck off. In fact, you should fuck off as far as you possibly can. And when you get there and can't fuck off any further in the direction you've chosen, take a 90-degree turn and continue to fuck off. Or as Billy Connolly might say. Is it this one? Yes.
Hey, fuck off.
Back to Mordor you go, yeah. Okay, let's talk about Zohran Mamdani's equity plan. This will probably amuse you, evil author, this little factoid I picked up last week. It turns out that J.J. Abrams decided to move his production company, Bad Robot, out of L.A. and to New York City because he was trying to dodge taxes. Yeah. Okay, from Libs of TikTok. Democrat New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, and I will continue to roll every R I can, is launching a racial equity plan designed to solve decades of discrimination by prioritizing resources for black and brown people. Stop calling this racism against white people. It's anti-whiteism. Calling it racism is pointless. The only people who ever get tarred with that for any effect are white people. It's a weapon. Why would any white person stay in New York City and continue paying taxes? The mayor is literally promising to discriminate against you with city resources. Oh, brother mine. Wall Street Mav. There are supposedly... Now, I have seen footage and shared it with you guys of people saying that companies who want to leave should not be allowed to, or should be fined very heavily for the privilege. Yeah. Let's see. Cthulhu Loves You says, then sensible white people should quit their jobs and move. Why pay for every other cunt? Yeah. Circus has gone on long enough. So racism, got it. From DVZ Memes, my aunt stopped taking the subway after 9/11 because she didn't feel safe wearing a hijab. That must have been devastating, Mr. Mamdani. My aunt stopped taking the subway after 9/11 because she was incinerated in the North Tower. Yeah. Taqiyya. A religious concept that allows Muslims to lie, deceive, or hide their beliefs if it helps spread Islam or protects its agenda. Don't be fooled by the mask. Sometimes tolerance is just strategy. Yeah. Welcome to New York. Yeah, pretty much. Except this guy should be a Muslim. All the resources in New York City are already prioritized around black and brown people. Yeah, well, that would be a de facto thing. He's going to make it an actual thing. If everything to you is about race, then you're probably the racist. No shit, but it's still pointless to call them racist. They don't care. In government, the scum rises to the top. Friedrich Hayek. Hayek wasn't wrong. That's my second favorite Hayek, by the way. Salma being my first, of course. Who thinks that the Muslim duo of Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett are writing his speeches? Yeah, I love New York. At some point, willful ignorance just becomes a special kind of stupid. First of all, eat a dick. Seriously retarded. Yeah, Tim Walz is still complaining that people are driving past his house, calling him a retard. Can't imagine why. White people are the only race you can legally discriminate against. Yeah. It's been one of those days. I'm going to need a short break here in a second anyway. So this is going to be the third last. The next two are going to be kind of hard. I'm going to save my other category for tomorrow. Thursday. I forgot tomorrow was Wednesday. Okay. From God Save Great Britain. Breaking. The British government are paying money to Pakistani grooming gang rapists for legal fees. Unfucking real. They are actually paying their legal fees.
GB News can exclusively reveal that at least £150,000 of taxpayers' money was spent on the legal aid costs of two cousins who groomed and sexually abused 5 vulnerable girls. Manzoor Hussain and Imtiaz Ali, who were in Greater Manchester at the time of their attacks, were sentenced to a total of 58 years in prison in December last year. They were convicted of rape and indecent assault. Ali, who hosted sick sex parties and allowed other men to prey on the young girls, had 71,111 quid's worth of legal costs covered by you, the taxpayer. He began the long term of...
Sentenced to 58 years total for the two of them. And the taxpayer is on the hook, not just for their keep while they're in jail, but on top of that, then, if they're deported when they're released, you'll be on the hook for that, and you're on the hook for their legal fees. Save the money, buy the rope. Stomach turning. UK officers used police cars to help traffic girls. This is known, yeah. I covered that recently, too. A cop that was making images while he was working. Another day, another what the fuck. We shall have no real hope to survive the enemies arranged against us until we hang the traitors lurking among us. Thomas Paine. Yes. And lest you think that I think that only the Muslims are guilty of child abuses, let's talk about the gays. The Uncensored Patriots. I'll throw them a follow. Another baby raped by a gay couple to death. This is Preston Davey. He was 13 months old. He was placed with a gay couple for adoption in Blackpool. One of them was a former teacher. Just 3 months later, he was dead. Trial starts on the 14th at Preston Crown Court. Sentenced them both to death. Yes. Let's see. The Uncensored Patriots asks, bring back death penalty for all Nazis and child rapists. That's not a hard question to answer. It's already up to 96.7%. Homosexuals should be allowed to be anywhere near children. Those pedophiles should be publicly executed. I think you meant to say not, Valentina. I've said it before. What I envy of America is the fact you have the death penalty still firmly intact. No, not nationally. Different states have the death penalty. This is one of the most depraved crimes where even the death penalty wouldn't feel strong enough. No, the death penalty doesn't fix anything. It just prevents further problems. Yeah. Instant death penalty and do it publicly too. Yeah, fine with that. Gay, you say? Who would have ever guessed? Honestly, mate, these two need wiping off the earth. Fast track their trial and hang the bastards. They do not deserve to live. They really don't. They should be hung by the justice system. No, they should be hung by a rope. Sorry. Gallows humor. Laugh so you don't smash your computer. In this case. Okay, this is going to be the last story today, and it's kind of tied in. Sorry, my nose is driving me insane today. Telling your child there is no such thing as objective biological reality should be treated as child abuse. Yay or nay? Ancient Hybrid says, I thought that was obvious. Only to those with sense. Some people have had sense removed from them, in some cases surgically. So this is from Retard Finder. He asks, can someone please investigate these retards? Yeah, this is, yeah.
This is Ari, Gwendolyn, and Brinifer. They are...
Brennifer.
Are in a polyamorous relationship, and they all parent Hazel and Sparrow.
We have a
Hazel and Sparrow.
2-year-old antigender baby and...
Antigender. Now, if you don't know what that means, A-N-T-E gender, as in before gender. No, you have a baby, and from the looks of her, a baby girl. And this one's also a girl, from the looks of her. However...
And a 10-year-old who is non-binary.
They have chosen not to disclose Sparrow's gender.
We don't know it yet. It's something that Sparrow's going to have to figure out, and then...
How screwed up is this kid going to be? What's even funnier is, what happens if, assuming it's biologically female, it decides I'm a girl, and the parents don't agree? Yeah. These people should be eradicated.
But their parenting approach is controversial.
I have literally received death threats.
It's not just their parenting approach that's controversial, or that should be controversial. The fact that they wear fucking masks in daylight outdoors.
Crazy, crazy lady. I hope karma hits you back and your kids grow up to detest you.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
These polyamorous parents let their children choose their gender. And for their oldest child, Hazel...
You really think Hazel chose they, them, and non-binariness?
That's neither male nor female.
Please tell us how and why you decided to come out as non-binary.
Because...
Why is this in this piece? This particular piece of footage?
The pronouns she and he did not fit.
Yeah, who told you that? No, watch the kid's face.
Because the pronouns she and he did not fit. Non-binary.
Nobody who's telling the truth does this. Or, you know, expressing their own attitude does that. I wouldn't trust somebody who was that evasive with eye contact.
It was what I turned to. Though I do choose to act and look more feminine. Can I go down now? Of course.
It's because you're a girl, sweetheart. Yeah, you will never convince me this shit is normal. Imagine thinking genitalia doesn't indicate gender, then suggesting to cut off genitalia to change gender. Yeah. This is all very normal. Nothing to see here. Yeah, look at these fucking examples of dear fuck. These two use she, her. That one uses they, them. That one's the papa. Autogynephilia is a disease. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be the end of the recorded segment today, because, well, I don't want to do anything else. And I'd like to go spend an hour or so gaming to get past this shit. So, as I usually do, I will end with something lighter in tone. In this case, it's a video talking about being kind.
Be kind. Take a look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down, dead and dead. On the edge of your knife, staying drunk on your vine. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground, sanctuary.
In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Yes, but realize that kindness, like charity, needs to start at home.
The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found hopeless hallelujah. Hope this side of heaven's gate. Oh, my life, how do ya breathe and take my breath away? At your altar I will pray. You're the sculptor, I'm the
Okay. Well, before I get all weepy-eyed, I will end the recording here by, of course, doing the usual e-begging. If you would like to support what I do, please head over to the Ko-Fi, throw me a few bucks. Like, share, chat, follow, subscribe, depending on which platform. Don't know if this one's even going to make YouTube, given all the potentially copyrighted music in there. I will never be monetized on YouTube, for the record. My views and the language that I use are far too much for YouTube's delicate sensibilities. No, they can't handle the fact that people use actual words, like rape, retard, suicide, things of that nature. It's not even gamer words, it's just hurty words. Yeah, remember that Billy Connolly clip I played? Yeah, that's what I think they can do too. Yeah. Okay, folks. I will be back in about 10, 15, possibly 20, just to be fair to Didger, minutes, and I will start gaming then. Okay, cam off, microphone off. Have a good day, folks.